Well, this is what we do. This is what we do. We sit here and we give love. This is what we do, right? Right? It's interesting because I've never documented this moment. I mean, when Benny was going, I wrote about it, but the thing about writing versus this is that all of these moments that you take for granted, number one, which is this, and all the emotional backtalk that happens when your lower self gets a grip on the moment also happens. So, for instance, I sit here and I say, it's really nice to just sit here quietly with Caroline and do nothing. Just put love on her. And then I think there were so many times that I coulda, but I didn't. Those moments, which are really not productive or fun to experience, but just by doing this, I'm verbalizing what would ordinarily just be a little flutter, you know. But you do notice differences. I mean, it's only been a few days, and you still notice differences. Subtle. You know, like shallower breathing. You know, she was a big cat. When I say big, I don't mean like fat necessarily, although she was always considered a little overweight. But every time our vet would say, she's a big cat, I would say, you should see her siblings. Like there was her sister, whose name I think became Snickers, another calico. Also was not a fat cat, but she was twice Caroline's size. I've never seen like calicos built like just Mack trucks, you know, and both Caroline and Snickers were definitely that. So, but it's weird to see her thinner, frailer than she even was a few weeks ago. And part of it was that surgery. I mean, just the opening and the closing and the night in hospital and the fact that she just didn't eat much for just those 48 hours just made it so that when she came back, she was visibly a little different. Which is one of the reasons why the notion of anything invasive right now just didn't sit well, because even though you might buy some time, you might also upset the apple cart, you know. And for right now, I'll take this. Yes, I will. I adore you. Daddy adores you. Yes, he does. And so we'll just keep doing this. Yeah, it's crazy how, you know, the other day, the vet who would have done the surgery, really cool guy, and very engaged, very present, very transparent about the probability of her not making it through the surgery, said, hey, just, we told him that we weren't going to do the surgery. He said, I totally get it. He said, you may want to try this one medication. It's called Palladia. But it also carries with it possible GI issues. And that's the last thing that we need right now is for her not to eat or to feel crappy when she is eating, because right now she still eats really well, although straight up junk, but whatever she wants right now. But the second that thought was planted in our minds, then you go, are we doing the wrong thing here? Are we doing the wrong thing? Are we being lazy? Are we doing something now that we're going to regret later? And that's really tough, man, because anybody who has dealt with anticipatory grief knows that you can so easily waste the energy that you would spend putting love on them with, self-flagellation. And I have to keep a close eye on that, because I know that here's what I know. When I talk about she wants her spot, that's her spot. And that's what she wants. She wants her spot. So, all I have to do is look at her and I know what the truth is. And I know I won't regret. But it's that lower self. It's that as much contact as one might feel with the physical and spiritual being that's right next to you, you can think, I did something. I made this happen. Ridiculous thoughts. But I think both Minu and I separately are subject to those thoughts, as anybody would be. So we are only, oh my God, it's crazy to think about it. Since the aborted surgery, we're only a week and a half removed from that surgery. And now we're just into the watching. And really the challenge is to watch without staring, to be without overbearing, to sit with her without projecting, and at the same time acknowledging that all of that is perfectly normal. What a tightrope. What a tightrope. She's peaceful, so I will try to be as well.